England are winning. 84th minute, World Cup semi-final. And Messi, 39 years old, one hamstring that's been taped since the group stage, picks up the ball. Wide on the right. He doesn't look up. He doesn't need to. He already knows where Enzo Fernandez is going to be. He floats the cross. Fernandez heads it in. 1-1. 5 minutes later, stoppage time. Same thing. Messi collects a loose ball, holds it, waits while the play resets around him. Doesn't rush, doesn't panic. And then he lobs across to the back post, to a run he calculated before the ball even reached his foot. Lautaro Martinez, 2-1. Argentina are in the final. 2 assists, both in the last 6 minutes against England, at 39. Now here is my question. Not, how good is Messi? We know the answer to that. My question is, how is his brain still doing this when everything else should be slowing down? That question has a scientific answer, and nobody has properly explained it. Until now. Right now, this week, Argentina are in the 2026 FIFA World Cup Final against Spain on Sunday. If Argentina win, they become the first nation in 64 years to win back-to-back World Cups. The last team to do it was Brazil, 1962. And the man driving it, the one who has created 12 direct goal contributions in this tournament, is 39 years old. Every media outlet right now is asking the same question. Is this his last game? I want to ask a different one. How is his brain still faster than players born in 2002? Because that, not the trophies, not the records, that is the real story of Lionel Messi. Here is something nobody told you about Messi. When he is on the ball, he is not watching the ball. I know that sounds wrong. Stay with me. There is a researcher, Professor Geir Jordet, Norwegian School of Sports Sciences. He has spent over 20 years studying one specific thing, where elite footballers look in the 10 seconds before they receive a pass. He analyzed nearly 10,000 ball possessions. 10,000. And here is what he found. The average professional footballer, not amateur, professional, scans their surroundings about 3 times every 10 seconds. The very best, Xavi, Lampard, Iniesta, 6 to 8 times per 10 seconds. Messi is documented as exceptional even within that group. Now translate that into what you actually see on a pitch. While the ball is still traveling toward Messi's foot, his brain has already swept the pitch. Left, right, behind, the space between 2 defenders. The run a teammate hasn't started yet. By the time the ball arrives, the decision is already made. What looks like instant genius is a preloaded answer to a question he asked 2 seconds ago. He doesn't react to the game. He reads it before it happens. Now, I want to give you 3 things about Messi that the science and the biography actually say, but almost no football content ever properly covers. Number 1, being small didn't hold him back. It built the weapon. At age 11, Messi was diagnosed with growth hormone deficiency. He gave himself injections every night for 3 years. In his own words, from Guillem Balagué's authorized biography, every night I had to stick a needle into my legs, night after night after night, every day of the week for 3 years. He was the smallest player on every pitch he ever played on as a child. Now, here is the insight that changes everything. Developmental psychology research on athletes who succeed despite physical disadvantage shows one specific adaptation. When you cannot rely on your body, when size and strength are not available to you, your brain compensates. It builds spatial intelligence. Anticipatory reading. Pattern recognition. Because these are the only tools it has. Messi didn't build his visual processing, despite being small. He built it because he was small. His brain learned to see the game differently because his body gave him no other choice. Number 2. His silence is not shyness. It is bandwidth management. Messi is the quietest superstar in world sport. In the tunnel, in the dressing room, in press conferences. His teammates at Barcelona described him as someone who could sit in a room full of noise and appear to be alone. Most people read that as introversion, as personality. Professor Jordet's research tells a different story. Athletes who maintain a narrow internal focus, who conserve mental energy rather than spend it socially, consistently outperform more expressive players in high-pressure moments. Because the brain running a 6 to 8 scan per 10-second sweep of a football pitch cannot simultaneously be running social performance. The silence isn't Messi being shy. It's Messi keeping the processor clear. Against England, when Argentina were losing, 84th minute, you could see it. He wasn't panicking, he wasn't shouting instructions, he wasn't performing urgency. He was quiet. And then he picked up the ball and saw 2 assists that nobody else on the pitch had found yet. Number 3. At 39, his advantage isn't reducing, it's compounding. Here's what the neuroscience says about cognitive performance over time. Physical attributes, speed, explosiveness, recovery, peak between ages 24 and 28. After that, it's a slow slide. This is why most footballers retire before 35. But high-level visual processing, spatial pattern recognition, anticipatory decision-making, these follow a completely different curve. They are driven not by physical capacity, but by accumulated neural pathways. The more you use them, the stronger they get. Every World Cup Messi has played, every season at Barcelona, every match across 25 years, his brain has been building a library. The half-step a defender takes before cutting right, the weight of cross that pulls a goalkeeper off his line, the angle a back four opens when their shape breaks under pressure. At 39, Messi has the largest library of football patterns of any player alive. And unlike his legs, those files don't degrade. So here's what I want you to do on Sunday. Watch the final. Of course you're watching the final. But watch it differently. In the 3 seconds before Messi receives the ball, don't watch his feet. Don't watch the ball. Watch his head. If you see him glance left before playing right, if his eyes scan behind him while the pass is still in the air, that is the scan happening. That is the library being accessed. That is the decision being preloaded before the pressure arrives. And when the pass comes, when it looks like it took no time at all, it didn't. It was decided 2 seconds ago. His body just needed time to catch up. Most of us are never going to play in a World Cup final. But here's what is transferable. Messi's brain runs on one habit. He never waits for pressure to arrive before he starts thinking. He scans the room before he needs to. He sees the gap before it's obvious. He makes the decision before the moment forces him to. In your own life, whatever that looks like, the question his brain is always quietly running is this: what haven't I looked at yet? Not what's in front of me, not what do I react to, what haven't I looked at yet? The people who seem to make brilliant decisions under pressure, they're not reacting faster than you. They preloaded the answer before the pressure arrived. That is the X factor. That is the quiet computer. Whether Argentina win on Sunday or not, what Messi has done at 39 at this World Cup is one of the most remarkable things I have ever watched. And now you understand the brain behind it. Not the magic, the mechanism. Every legend has an X factor. We decode a new one every Saturday. If this changed how you'll watch the final, subscribe. That's the whole point of this channel. I'm Jay, and this was the X Factor.